Welcome back to Reliable Sources. In part 1 of our special interview, we got to know Sheriff Chad Bianco, the lawman, the family man, and now a candidate for California governor. He spoke with us about crime, public safety, and what he sees as a growing gap between Sacramento and the people. Tonight, in part 2, we turn our focus to the kitchen table issues. How much you pay in taxes, how much it costs to live in California, and what kind of future your children will inherit. From high rents to shrinking paychecks, Californians are asking tough questions. And Sheriff Bianco says it's time for clear answers. We will hear his ideas on cutting taxes, helping small businesses, tackling homelessness, and giving parents a stronger voice in schools. Welcome, Sheriff Chad Bianco, again in our show, and thank you again for your time.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll continue our questions. So, in your social media, I heard you, I watched a small video, and you have called for getting rid of income tax. And you said this is the fastest way to lower living costs in California. Can you tell us how you will do that?
Yeah, so it's not going to be easy. So there are 10 other states in the country that do not have a state income tax.
Correct.
Why is California not one of them? Why is the greatest state in the country not one of those states that does not tax its residents?
The opposite,
in fact,
we are one of the highest.
It is the highest.
Yeah.
So California taxes its residents higher than any state in the country. And we also have the highest poverty rate than of any state in the country. Nothing economically makes sense here other than we have a lot of Californians that are really working hard, trying to make their lives better, trying to make their families' lives better, their businesses better, and truly, government is the only one that is benefiting. And I don't think that obviously lowering those tax rates and lowering the taxes will help, but the biggest way to drive down all of those costs and to make us have more money is the cost of living. The cost of living in California is higher than any place in the country. We pay the highest gas, we pay the highest energy, we pay the highest taxes. All of those things are regulated by the government, and we have to rein those in. The government regulations are truly what is driving up the cost of everything in California. And one of the biggest drivers of our cost of living in California is gasoline. We pay double of what Texas pays for gasoline. We have the highest gas prices in the country. In Riverside County, I'm 3 hours away from Arizona, and I'm 3 hours away from Nevada. And I can go to either place and pay, and as soon as I cross the state line, it's $2 per gallon cheaper.
And Nevada has no taxes,
right?
No income tax.
Exactly. And so that's why all our residents are moving there too. Our businesses are moving to Nevada. They're moving to Tennessee. They're moving to Florida, Texas. All of these states that don't have these regulations and that don't have these high taxes. So if the cost of our gasoline is 100% government imposed, we pay such a high cost in gasoline because our government, the special interest in Sacramento, don't like gasoline. They want everybody driving electric cars, so they're going to force us. It's going to be too expensive to put gas in our cars, and we're going to be forced to buy electric. That's not how government is supposed to work. Government doesn't get to tell us what car we're going to drive or what house we're going to buy. We decide those things. We as Americans get to decide those things for ourselves. And when technology catches up with the electric cars and makes them cheaper and makes them more reliable, then people will buy them. But until then, we have a very, very reliable, cheap source of fuel in gasoline. And California imports 80% of its gasoline into the state. 80% of the oil comes into the state. And 60% of that comes from other countries. So Californians are making other countries and Alaska and other states richer at our cost. It's harming us. And the reality of California is we have more oil than Texas. It's our state will not allow us to drill it. Our state, our regulators, our environmentalists will not allow us to drill our own oil. We should be drilling 100% of our oil. and then we will have the lowest price of gasoline in the country. And then what that does, when gas is high, that makes the cost of your groceries high.
Of course.
That makes the cost of the stuff in the hardware store high, because everything has to be driven into those places. It has to be transported, and we transport using gasoline. So if you're tripling the cost of what gasoline should be, all of those costs have to be carried on to the consumer in every single one of those products. And that's all because of government regulation. On day one, I will sign away those government regulations that cause us to have $2.20 more per gallon added to the cost of our gas. On day one, it will be lowered $2.20. Once we start pumping more oil, once we start drilling our own oil and refining our own oil, then it'll go $1 less. So we could have $2.20 gas for everyone in the state. Alaska, they drill so much oil, and we could do this too, we could sell our oil to other places.
Correct.
Alaska pays every one of its residents. At the end of the year, they get a dividend from all the money that they made from selling their oil.
Right.
Why aren't we doing that? Our government has become beholden to special interest groups and to activist groups that have no business being in government. Government is not supposed to be run by activists, and it's not supposed to be run by environmentalists. Those are fringe groups that we need to listen to what they say. We need to take that into account, but adults need to be at the table, take all that information, and then make the best decision for what's good for everyone. When you are making decisions for activists and for environmentalists and for special interest groups, then all of us suffer for it. And a couple of people, a handful of people benefit. So that cost of living is how we bring, I don't have to give everyone in the state a raise if the cost of all your goods goes down 30%. Right. You have 30% more of your money that you get to spend on other things. You can invest, you can save it, or you can play with it. You can just buy more things with it. You should be able to choose that. And right now, it is our government that is causing us to be the highest poverty rate, to be the highest taxed, to be the highest regulated. All of those things are being controlled by the 120 people that are in Sacramento, and we're all being harmed by it.
That's true. And also the property tax. It's very expensive and getting higher and higher every year.
Yeah.
Okay, so would you support cutting property tax too, or just the income tax?
Yes. No, I don't think, the only thing that I would cut on property taxes, I don't believe we should be paying taxes on property after we paid for it. So I get the property tax, but why, you can say you spend, your entire lifetime, 30 years paying off your 30-year mortgage, and now you own your house, but yet you still have to pay $2,000 a month in taxes. That doesn't make sense to me. That's just government greed. And it's that desire to just have more and more of our money because government is so big and bloated and wasteful that they need more of our money. I think that income tax is a huge driver of the revenue in California, but it's also
it's a big revenue sources. So
yes.
How would you make it up for the lost revenue?
I know it's there. I don't know how bad it is, the amount of fraud and abuse and waste.
Right.
We know that there are billions and billions and billions of dollars being wasted. Our state government in the last 12 years has doubled in size. I don't have twice the benefit of government. They're not giving me twice the services. They're not giving any of us twice the services. Why have they taken 200 more? It's almost $200 billion more of our money in 12 years. Where is that going? 200 billion.
That's a lot of money.
We're not benefiting from it. So a lot of it is waste. A lot of it is fraud. A lot of it is government programs that are truly, it's almost like a money laundering industrial complex that just take the money from us and give it to somebody else. And we have to rein that in. We saw with what President Trump did and Elon Musk did with Doge, and we saw the amount of rampant waste and abuse and fraud in our federal government. We have to be crazy to think that that's not happening in California. We know it's happening in California. They have, $20 billion that they don't even know where it went.
Yes.
How do you not know where $20 billion goes? That's impossible. They know where it went. It was wasted and it was abused and it was fraud. And we need to find who's responsible for that, and they need to be held accountable, and we need to make sure that that is not happening anymore. So if we eliminate, say, $100 billion of waste, that's $100 billion in taxes that we don't need to recover anymore.
Yes.
So it may need, one possibility is that one of the ways that some of the other states do it is it's a value-added tax. So their state sales tax is higher.
Yes.
And if you're going to save your money, then you never pay that tax. But if you're going to buy something, then you pay a 1% higher tax rate on buying that product rather than having it just taken from your check in the very beginning.
Right.
And the amount of money that you get to keep at the end of the month is substantially more if you're keeping all of your income rather than just where you spend it.
Right, but some people says like cutting income tax will affect what the people need, like schools, healthcare,
but it's
emergent.
but it's just not true. It's a lie. We're being lied to, and that whole fear again. Oh my gosh, we're going to lose education. Oh my God,
Yes.
Florida didn't lose education. Florida has some of the best. Texas has some of the best education systems in the country, and they don't have a state income tax. So you can't tell me all of these fears. You can't do it because of this. Okay, well, why did they do it? How were they able to do it? We could take all 10 states. We could figure out all of the best ways that they do it, the things that aren't as much desirable, and we won't do those. But we can combine the 10 best ways, and then we'll have the best system out there. Yes. Here's the thing. When someone tells you you can't do it, the government can't do that, we can't eliminate sales tax, what they really mean to tell you is we don't want to, because it's too easy.
Yeah.
Why would they want to give up their government? The people that are telling you that they can't do it are the ones benefiting from your tax dollars. It's all a lie.
Actually, California's taxes everywhere, everything,
Everything.
Yeah, even for business owners, like payroll taxes, they eliminate who they can hire, how many they can hire, because they can't afford the payroll taxes.
California completely abused the COVID money, and now they're making business owners pay it back. The business owners didn't abuse it, the state did. Why are business owners being punished for our lawmakers' decisions, for our governor's decisions? Those people should be removed from office, not close our businesses, not force our businesses out. Right. Businesses, I mean, it's sad that it is so hard to operate a business in California, because that truly, for a lot of people, that is their American dream. That is their generational business that was passed on from their grandparents and their parents down to their kids, and they're losing it because of government regulations and government costs and taxes and control. And that is not America.
You believe workers in California could use their money much better than Sacramento can?
So the best way to stimulate the economy is to bring more businesses into California, which brings more workers into California, which gives us all more jobs. We all make more money, and when we make more money, we spend more money. We buy more produce, we buy more food, we buy more gas, we buy more cars, we buy houses. All of those things, that's what stimulates the economy. And if you have more money to do that, then that economy is going to be stimulated.
Correct.
The government is not making anything. The government is taking all that money away from you, and they generate nothing from it. It's a lot of it is just being wasted. There's a handful of businesses and a handful of people that are making millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars off of our taxpayer dollars. But we're being victimized from it. The burden is on us, and we're struggling from paycheck to paycheck when, if you had that extra money, now not only is there breathing room, but now you can take your family out to dinner, or now you can buy that new car that you've needed, or anything. If the regulation for housing costs, it doesn't cost any more to build a house in California than it does in Nevada. It's the same wood, it's the same nails, it's the same people, it's all the same. The difference is it should only take between 30 and 90 days to build a house. And in California it takes 3 years because of regulation. And with those regulations come added fees and costs. And I talked to a builder that he said that a third of the cost of the house is because of government fees and government regulation. Taking away those regulations, allowing builders to build more homes, that's why there's no homes, is because the builders don't want to build any more homes. They want to build as many homes as they could. That's how they're going to make money.
And we have the land.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's being stopped by our government. And that just has to be taken away. We have to, as the governor, I would encourage builders to build as many homes as you possibly can. We're going to eliminate the red tape. We're going to take away the restrictions and the regulations and the rules and the taxes that are harming your business. We're going to make it to where you can build a house in 60 days, in 90 days. And then the free market, all of these people will be building houses, and now the value of those homes will come down. We can afford them because it doesn't take 3 years to build anymore.
Right. So as a governor, how would you make sure that tax cut actually go to the people?
Yeah, so well, that's kind of easy because the tax cuts, especially the income tax, and right from the very beginning, the easy ones, the main income tax is going to be a harder thing to do. That's going to be a lot to work out. But right in the beginning, we can eliminate income tax from retirement. So all of the retirement people that work their entire lives here to be able to enjoy their golden years of retirement, they all have to leave California because they can't afford it on a fixed retirement income. So why are we taxing them? Many other states don't tax retirement income. Why are we doing it? So we can do that on day one. There's not a lot of retirees that it's going to be a lot of money, but not a substantial amount of money. So from day one, we can stop the income tax on retirees or on retirement income, on military income. There are other states that don't tax military income. Why does California?
Right.
I mean, we have to start doing things that benefit Californians to stimulate our growth, to stimulate our economy rather than stymie it and make sure that the government has control over it.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel so bad when we said, like, we live in California, is the best state in the nation. But like a lot of other states have a much better tax rate, tax cuts, everything better than California. Yeah,
even when you go to the grocery store here, the cost of living here is astronomical compared to other places. That's going to be the first thing that we attack. We attack the regulations that are driving up the cost of living. Fuel is the biggest one. That's going to be easy to remove and to lower, and then that trickle-down effect will have drastic results on lowering the cost of our groceries and the things that we buy in stores, because it's all transportation costs to get it there. And so when you say how are you going to make sure that everyone benefits from the tax cuts, that's another thing that plays on our emotions that make us think that tax cuts are bad. The tax cut benefits the rich. That benefits everyone. Exactly. A tax cut benefits everyone, and you have to make sure it's everyone, especially if you're eliminating an entire tax. That is benefiting everyone. Yes. I mean, for instance, in the Big Beautiful Bill, the tips. Yes. I mean, no taxes on tips. When did that happen in the first place? That happened in my lifetime, because when I was young, tips weren't. You didn't report tips for anything. That's a recent thing because government just wanted more of your money. Yes. So if you go to a restaurant and you get good service and you want to tip somebody, here's a $20. Why are they paying taxes on that $20? You just gave them a gift of treating you nice. But we've just gone so far into the government grab of all of the control of our lives, and it starts with money. And we need to rein in government so it's not so expensive, and then we don't need all of that money that we're taking from all of our residents.
Yes, yes. You know, I'm a tax expert, so that's why I really like your idea about taxes, because every time, like when I file taxes for taxpayers, I feel so bad for Californian. Like, they are working so hard, but still living paycheck to paycheck. How do you think you can help them generate like more money at the end of the month, or save more money at the end of the month?
When you take, if you even look at our income, California's income is higher than most, if not all,
That's right.
of the country.
Yes.
If we eliminate the cost of living, if we lower the cost of living, we automatically have more money. So the high wages that we're earning, when we don't have to spend that on, I mean, why are we making so much more than the rest of the country, than most states, but yet we have more people paycheck to paycheck?
Yes.
It's because everything is too expensive here. That's where we have to attack. It's not raising wages. Raising wages was a false way for the government to make people think that they were doing something for you, but really it was a quiet little way of getting more income tax. It harmed us. Raising the minimum wage to $20, it increased the cost of all of those goods in all of those fast food restaurants. I'm not doing it for the Republican Party. I'm not doing it for the Democrat Party, the Independent Party. I'm doing it for Californians.
Yes.
I love California and I love everybody that's here. And somebody needs to start caring about Californians instead of political parties and agendas and special interests. And right now, I'm going to be the only person on that ballot that you're either going to choose the same thing we've had, or you're going to choose the guy that 32 years of public service, that he has been working for us, and 32 years of integrity and honesty and public service, that's just a regular guy, just like everybody else in California, that knows where the struggles are, that knows the things that make a difference, instead of making decisions in Sacramento that may make you feel good, but you don't think of the consequences of all the people that it's harming downstream. Right. And that would be all of us. And it truly is time that we elected a normal person, a normal, hardworking, blue-collar guy, into running our government, to make sure that our government is doing things to benefit us instead of us benefiting the government.
Right. Buying a home in California is becoming nearly impossible. Prices are too high and there aren't enough homes. Is there a way to make home ownership possible again for Californians?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to do it quickly, because it's like I kind of mentioned before, it's a third of the cost is government imposed. It's government fees, it's government regulations, it's government costs that they are just taking from all of these builders. And then another big portion of the cost is the financing cost of borrowing the money to build the home. So when a developer goes into a $400 million project, they don't have $400 million of cash to buy that and build it. They have to borrow it. So if it's taking 3 years to build that, they're paying interest on all of that money. They're passing that on to us when we buy that house. That goes into the cost of the house. So when you eliminate that 3 years of interest rates on the money that they're borrowing, that lowers the cost substantially. So the median home price in the United States is roughly around $400,000 for a home in the United States. California, $950,000.
Yes.
That is 100% government imposed. We buy the wood from the same place. We buy the nails from the same place, the steel from the same place. Why is it so much money? It is government is causing that to happen. It is not the builders. If the builders could build more homes, they would build as many homes as people are going to buy. And they need to build a lot of them. But they can't take the risk of going bankrupt because of the government regulations. If those regulations are removed, then these builders are going to build massive housing developments. And if cities want to build apartments, they can build apartments. That's another thing with the state forcing cities on which kind of homes they can buy or which kind of homes that they can develop. They can't build single-family homes because they have to build the majority of apartment complexes. Well, what if I don't want to live in an apartment complex? I want my own home. So, and the majority of people want to be able to buy their own home. And so we should be able to build those homes so people can buy them. And we're going to get back to that. 30 years ago, we had it. We could buy a home. It was $100,000 to buy a house. In early 2000s, you could buy a house in Riverside for $125,000. Right. And now you can't, it's 600, 700, 800.
Yes.
And for a house that you probably wouldn't even want to live in.
Yes.
And it's sad that we've come to that point. And government is causing it. The agenda of government. That's why with me in there, with me in the governor's office, setting the agenda, setting the direction of the state, making sure that the commissions and the boards that are causing all of these regulations are either removed or changed to where we're benefiting the people now. That's what has to happen here. It's going to be easy to lower the cost of homes because I know a lot of builders, a lot of big builders and a lot of single contractors that just build one house at a time. And I have friends that build 100 houses at a time. They want to build more and more and more, but they're not going to do it in California. They said it's not worth it.
Because of the
regulations. The regulations and there's a law. It's called PAGA. It's referred to as PAGA. It's the Private Attorney General Act. And that any attorney in the state can sue a business for any workplace violation, and it could be like if you gave someone one of their breaks that was a minute too late, that's a technical violation that could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
That has to be taken away.
Yes.
That is not legitimate. That is an abuse of something that may have seemed like a good idea at the time, but now it is harming businesses. Exactly. Business people don't even want to be in business in California because of the lawsuits that are coming on a daily basis from employees who are taking advantage of the system and for unethical lawyers who are facilitating it. Yes. And all of those have to stop. We have to start caring about our small business owners.
Right. I wrote a post on my Facebook page. I have 1,000 of followers here in USA. And I said, if you had the chance to meet with the governor, what would you ask him? So I received a lot of questions, like most of them, maybe 75% was about rent. Can he please lower the rent? We can't pay the rent. We're working for the rent. So rent in California is so expensive.
Yeah.
I think it's now equal to your mortgage.
Yeah, sometimes higher.
Yeah, and sometimes higher in some places, some cities, right? So what's your plan about rents? How you help them? What do you think about the rent control law? So tell us your ideas about rent.
Yeah, so I am a fan of rent control. However, you can't have, if you're causing, this is all coming back to the availability. It's supply and demand. There's no supply. The demand is high. There's no supply. So basic economics 101 say that if you have a lot of demand and no supply, the cost is going to be a lot. So if there's no homes to rent and you have a home to rent, you can get a lot of money for that because you've got thousands of people that are looking for a home to rent. So it all goes back into building more homes. We absolutely need to build more homes. There has to be a massive increase in homeownership. So what happened years ago is the population of California was 20 million people, probably about 40 years ago. It was 20 million people. We're at 40 million people, but we have the same amount of houses.
Yes.
Because the environmentalists stopped the growth. The environmentalists said that we're not going to stop the growth. If we stop the growth and we stop the building, then the population won't increase. Well, that didn't happen. The population, they said, I'm going to California anyway.
Yes.
So the population is still coming here, and government is preventing the building of houses. We absolutely have to go on a massive, massive building spree to build enough houses to accommodate the amount of people that need homes. And when you have all of those homes built, the more availability, it lowers the price, because now we're so out of whack, we have to get to where they're equal. We have to get to where the supply is equal to the demand.
Exactly.
And that's how you regulate the costs.
Right.
When it's so lopsided, that's why we're seeing what we're seeing now.
Right.
So if someone has a home, but at the same time with rent control, if it costs you $1 million to build a home, and so now you're at an $8,000 mortgage payment on that home that you just built, but you want to rent it, you can't rent it for $2,000 if your mortgage payment is $8,000. I mean, see, that it just doesn't work. So I feel for those people that are having that. And for me, I mean, I'm at the end of my life. I don't want a new home. I've been in my home for plenty of time now, and we're fine. But my kids are not. My kids are at the point where the same thing that your readers or your Facebook, your followers, your social media followers, they're where they are. They can't afford rent, and they can't afford to buy a home.
Exactly.
And so it's like, what do? They're struggling so bad. They want their own home. They can never afford it. And now they can't even afford rent. Their rents keep going up.
Exactly.
And they're going to end up living with me again. And I mean, is it not that that's a bad thing, but that's not how it should be.
Right.
And we have to just start, government has to get out of the way of progress. Government is the obstacle of progress. America was great, and it was made great by ingenuity, by development, by innovation, by hard work from a whole bunch of people wanting to make everyone's life better.
The rent and the increased prices for the homes leads me to homelessness. And I know this subject is, you talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
So you have talked a lot about the homelessness problem in California. It's not just in big cities anymore. It's now in small towns and quiet neighborhoods.
Yeah.
How would you fix this problem?
Yeah. So number one, we have to stop calling it homeless.
Yeah.
Because the people that we see...
You don't like the word homeless.
I don't, because they all had homes. They were kicked out of their homes. They were kicked out of their homes because of their drug problems, their alcohol problems, their theft problems, their mental health issues that were probably caused by drug addiction, psychosis. I call it, drug-induced psychosis. So when we think about homeless and we get that view in our mind about the homeless people, it's the people in tents underneath the overpasses and living in the parks and all of those things. Those people want to be there. We deal with them every single day. They don't want help. When we as law enforcement go out into the public and we find somebody, and I'm not saying everyone is like that, because we're looking for people that are truly down on their luck. And when we find them, when we find a mom living in her car with her kids because she's fleeing a domestic violence situation, or we find a young kid that got kicked out of his home for whatever reason, his parents said you can't live here anymore, and they're living in a car, we can get those people help immediately. Immediately. And when law enforcement finds them, we get excited because, oh my gosh, now there's someone we can help. These people want help, and we can help them. The ones that we see on the street corners and in the parks and in front of businesses and the laying on the sidewalks and mentally ill and all that thing, those people want to be there. They are choosing to be there, and when we offer them services, they refuse it. So we need to call it what it is. It is a drug-induced psychosis that we have to, you're not going to fix it by allowing nonprofits to buy apartment complexes to benefit from them that are sitting empty. Right. You're not going to fix it by dumping $20 billion of money into building tiny homes for people that don't want tiny homes, those tiny homes never get built anyway.
And things getting worse. They spent billions, but we didn't see any improvement.
Absolutely. We've spent hundreds of billions of dollars on homelessness, and it's gotten increasingly worse every single year. That means it's not homeless anymore.
Yes.
We need to start being honest, and we need to start calling it what it is. And we need to take that money from all of those people that are getting it, and we need to give it to mental health care, to drug care, to alcohol care. And we need to get these people sober so we can actually get them to a place where they can make logical decisions again. Because when they're in a drug-induced psychosis, they are not making logical decisions. So from a law enforcement perspective, we know we can fix it. We know how to fix it. But do you know who's never asked to be on these committees for our opinion? Law enforcement. Because they know we're going to fix it.
Yeah.
We know, and we've been telling them, quit buying apartment complexes. Quit wasting money on homes that you think they're going to live in, because they're not.
So where should these people go instead?
We have to put them in treatment centers. So eventually, so this is the thing, they all had homes. They all had families. We need to get them back to where they're sober, to where they're mentally making good decisions. They want the help. They've got the help. We've made them healthy again, and we can reunite them with their families. So from all of law enforcement, we all have homeless outreach teams. And we make sure that when we contact these homeless individuals, we reach out to their family members and we ask the family members if they are going to take them back. And they all say no. They say, are they still on drugs? Is he still drinking alcohol? If they are, then no. And then so if we can get them into some facility here for 30 days, 60 days, and then call them back and say, hey, we've had him sober for 60 days now,
yes,
and now your dad wants to come home, or now your husband wants, he's sorry that he's ruined your life, but he wants to know if you'll take him back. They take them back. They have homes. They were just kicked out of their homes.
So we better spend money in these facilities.
Absolutely.
Not in the housing for
No,
homeless.
the homeless industrial complex is a money laundering scheme for billions of our taxpayer dollars.
Right.
If we would address the drug and alcohol issues and the mental health issues, there would be no more homeless.
Yes. Okay, we'll move now to parental rights. So I know you have a big view about it. So many parents across California feel like they have lost their voice in their children's education. What would you do to give parents more say in what their kids are taught in schools?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we are actually failing generations, 2 generations at a minimum. It could even be 3. I think I was the borderline of when it started changing, but my kids were part of that. And now certainly their kids are a part of it. We're failing them. The adults are failing their kids. We have the worst school systems in the country, and we spend nearly the most in our education system. But we have the worst education system as far as success rates for our kids in the country. We're no longer teaching them how to read, how to write, how to do math, how to become a productive person in society. We no longer teach history. We no longer teach any of those things that made us great. We are indoctrinating our kids. We are teaching their kids truly, especially at the college level, but now it's going down into in public schools, it's going into almost even elementary school. There are teachers that are teaching kids to not like America, that America is bad. And I mean, that is not what the education system is supposed to be for. There are other countries that are far above us in education, and we should be number 1. California, at one point in history, was the number 1 education system in the country, and now we're near last.
Yeah.
It's a shame. There is a lot of waste in our public school system, and I've been told that half of the money that goes to our education system goes above the principal level. So the principal and the teachers and everybody that's teaching our kids, they're only getting half of the money. The rest of it is all administrative costs for administrative buildings and district offices, and the waste that goes on there is crazy. And that needs to be overhauled. So the thing about being the governor is I can control the money. I can control where their money goes. But the head of the education system is elected. And we are going to, the same election as me, we are going to elect a new superintendent of schools. And I my personal opinion, the only person that you should be voting for, her name is Sonia Shah. We need her.
She's a very brave woman.
She is.
Yes.
She absolutely
deserves
is. She is a fierce mom.
Yes.
Who only wants the best for her kids and for everybody else's kids.
Right.
And that's what we need in that situation. We don't need a bureaucrat. We don't need somebody that's just going to continue the belief that we're doing everything right, because we're doing everything wrong. And so for me as the governor, I will push to have a voucher system. Yes. You will be able to pick what schools that you want to go to. And I will increase that even broader to say that homeschooling applies to that too.
Right.
Charter schools, homeschools, all of those things. I believe it's government's responsibility to educate our youth. It's educating the next generation that is going to make us more productive, to make us more successful. And so we have to concentrate on the education of our kids. But it has to be to make them smarter and more productive, not brainwash them or we're talking about parental rights. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the parents that get to say what their kids do. It is not the government.
Yes.
The government does not get to raise my kids. I get to raise my kids. You teach them how to read, you teach them how to do math, you teach them how to do calculus and history and all those things. I'm going to teach them how to be a person and how to be their ethics and their morals and their integrity and all of those things. That's what a parent is for.
Especially when it comes to gender identity or mental health.
Yeah.
I believe every parent should be aware or informed about everything happened with their child. Completely.
Yeah. Completely. The idea that we have got to this point where teachers can keep secrets from parents, there is something morally wrong with that.
So are you willing to change that?
100%. There will never be secrets kept from parents.
Thank you.
As a parent and as a cop, my worst fear or the thing that bothers me the most, which as a cop, the most dearest to my heart, is crimes against children. Children are supposed to be protected. They're supposed to be protected by their parents. And if their parents aren't protecting them, we have to protect kids because they can't protect themselves. So when they were victimized, that hurts me. It hurts me that an adult victimized a child. And how I was raised, my parents said, there are no secrets. You don't keep secrets from me. You want to keep secrets from your friends, fine, whatever, but you don't keep secrets from your parents. And that's how I raised my kids.
Yes.
In my line of work, when you're trying to abuse a child and when you're trying to, whether it's sexual or physical or emotional abuse of a child, you're grooming that child to not tell.
Yes.
And the way they don't tell is they keep secrets. Don't tell your parents. Don't tell your teachers. Don't tell anybody about this. This is just between you and me. That can't happen.
Right.
There are no secrets. There will never be secrets kept from parents by schools. It actually astonishes me that we are in a place that we're even having this discussion, because that makes no sense at all.
Correct.
No sense at all. To decide that an 8-year-old is going to have secrets from their parents with their teacher, and that teacher is going to be able to change the sexual identity, the sexual makeup of that person without their parents knowing, there is something grossly sick and wrong with that situation. That how are we as adults even engaging in this conversation? That is absolutely wrong.
Let's discuss the talk of the nation, immigration. So California is home to millions of immigrants, legal and undocumented. What would you do to fix our broken immigration system?
Yeah.
And there is a lot of people here, they want to build a better life. So how you balance this?
Yeah. So this is where we have to start being honest again. And we have to start being honest, and we have to say that our politicians over the last 50, 60 years have purposely not fixed our immigration system because they use it as a tool every time they want to get elected. This should have been fixed a long time ago. The reality of America is we are always expanding, and right now, when you get into demographics, the death rate in America is higher than the birth rate. So we're going to lose population. The only way that you increase population is through immigration. And America was built on immigrants. I mean, my family immigrated here. Your family, you immigrated here.
My whole community is immigrated here.
Yes, and that is why America is great. Because people were allowed to come here to make a better lives for themselves, to make better lives for their families, and they were contributing to the betterment, to the increased status of America. They wanted to become Americans. And that's how we all came here. That my ancestors and you, that's how you came here and why you came here. And we have to realize and admit that that has to happen. We have to have immigration. But our immigration system is broken in that our government purposely is not allowing people to immigrate into the country. So when you do come in, it takes forever for you to not only be allowed to come to the country, but if you're going to become a citizen, I know some people that said that it has taken 20 years for them to become a citizen of the U.S. And that is wrong. That is wrong. We have to fix it. So, and there's always an excuse. The government always has, the federal government always has an excuse. Well, we know that they hired 80-some thousand IRS agents.
Yes.
We don't need 80,000 IRS agents.
No, we don't.
How about if we put those 80,000 into immigration system and have them start processing immigration applications? And we start making it faster and easier to legally come into this country.
Right.
So the thing that where we're at now is we've experienced in the last 4.5 years polar opposite. For 4 years, we had a completely open border that was just, it truly was an invasion of we have no idea who into our country. We don't know if they were here to better their lives or if they were here to harm America. And that's another honesty thing that we have to talk about is what are we going to do about the people that were here to harm America? Mm-hmm. First thing we have to do is secure the border.
Yes.
It's secure. Mm-hmm. President Trump came in.
Finally.
Our border, for the first time in history,
yes,
our border is secure.
Yes.
They're still trying to sneak in other ways and the drug cartels and all of those things, but it is secure. We are stopping them. This mass immigration, illegal immigration into our country has stopped. Mm-hmm. Now we have to start the legitimate immigration process of how we're going to let people in, how we're going to, who we're going to allow to be brought in, and we're going to have to come. So what you have now is you have these people over here that are saying everybody has to go. Mm-hmm. These people over here saying everybody has to stay. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
I don't believe everybody can stay because I don't believe everybody is here for their own benefit, to make their lives better. Yeah. If their lives being better meant that they came to this country for gangs and for violence and for robberies and to commit crime in a more rich environment that is more beneficial to them, they shouldn't be in this country. Yes. So anybody that's going to come into our country and break our laws, I don't think they should be allowed in the country. Correct. If you're coming here to better your life, to better the life of your children, your family, then that's what my family did. Right. And so why is that not allowed now? At one point in time, you could come into our country and you could join the military, and that was your path to citizenship. You serve in the military, then you're law-abiding, you get a job, and now you can become a citizen. Yeah. They took that away. Why? Why did they take that away? That needs to be brought back. And there needs to be other ways for people to become, to assimilate and become citizens here. Yes. Because there are people that have been here for 30, 40, 50 years right. that have never broken the law, that raised their family. Now, why are they not citizens? I have no idea, because it's easy for them to become citizens. Yeah. If you're here illegally and you have kids, and your kids are now growing to be adult, you can become a citizen. Yes. But you have to choose to. Yeah. And a lot of them are choosing not to.
As you said, like the process taking so long.
The process is broken.
Yeah.
We have to streamline the process, and we have to make it we have to have an immigration system that is legitimate. Because right now, our immigration system is not legitimate.
Right.
It is, you're rewarded for breaking the law, and the ones that are trying to do it legitimately are punished. I mean, I have a friend who lives in Italy, and he just wants to come here to visit. He wants to spend 2 weeks here just to visit. And he's been trying for 3 years now to get a visa. Yes. And he can't get a tourist visa to come here, just to come to Southern California. He wants to go to Disneyland and he wants to see our beaches. That's it.
Yeah.
And he can't, he keeps getting denied, and it makes no sense to me. That's proof right there. Yes. That our immigration system and that the process of people coming to our country, completely broken. Completely broken, and we need to fix it. The lawmakers in Republicans and Democrats in Washington, D.C. need to fix it. And the problem is, this is what happens for everybody out there, so you know. The Democrats right now are saying, Republicans stopped immigration. We had the perfect immigration bill 3 years ago, but the Republicans blocked it. Well, that's true, because inside that immigration bill, they threw a whole bunch of other things that were detrimental to our country.
Yes.
It wasn't about immigration. So they need a bill that is immigration, that is only immigration.
Yes.
No other pet projects get attached to it and added to the end, and amendments that don't have anything to do with it. It needs to be fix our immigration system, because we are demanding it.
Yes.
And that's how we make it happen. So as the governor of California, after I'm elected, I will do everything I can to work with the president, to work with Congress to fix it. Because California is probably the largest immigrant population in the country.
Yes.
So it affects us more than anything. Yes. We have to have something. The whole thing about not having a path to citizenship is, it just can't happen. Everyone, whether you're here illegally or not, and I get it, I get the argument that they broke the law and they came here, then it's a civil law. So make them pay a penalty.
Yes.
Pay a penalty, be law-abiding, get a job, show us that you truly do want to benefit your life and your family, and then you have that path to citizenship.
Yes.
But we could have it with the military service. We could have it with public service, with fire and law enforcement. We could have it in the construction industry or the...
in many ways.
There's all kinds of industries, the hospitality industry, the farming communities, the farming industry.
Yes.
Those, if you're truly working hard and benefiting for your family, we should have a process for you to become a citizen.
Yes.
It was like that before. And we've gotten away from it. It's become a political tool that we have to fix.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sheriff Bianco. Why do you believe you are the right person to lead and fix all of these problems?
You know, I've spent 32 years. Everything about my day is an emergency. For 32 years, and sometimes there were 25 emergencies. Every 911 call is an emergency. And we have to respond out to that call, we have to get minimal information, and we have to fix that emergency just so we can move on to the next emergency. So there are many things in my life. On-the-job training has taught me how to decide what's an emergency and what's not. And I don't get sidetracked by emotion. I can't get sidetracked by emotion. I only care about facts. I only care about, I have to think about consequence, because a decision that I make, if I leave, is it going to cause a worse problem if I leave? So that was just on-the-job training for me. And in the government position that I'm at right now, leading the sheriff's organization, a $1 billion a year organization. My budget is $1.2 billion a year. I know how all of that works. I know that I run my organization better than other people that don't know how to solve emergencies. And then a lot of law enforcement is black and white. It's either the law or it's not the law. It's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. And there's not a lot of gray area. It's cut and dry. It's plain and simple. And I'm just a regular person. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a billionaire. I have nothing to gain from this. It's actually going to be more harm to my family than and my personal life than a benefit. But I believe that it's going to take someone who is not afraid to go against the norm. And that has never been my personality. There's not much of anything that I'm afraid of. And I've spent 32 years of trying to make other people's lives better. And that's all I want to do for California. So I want to take it from, instead of 2.5 million people in Riverside County, we're going to make it 40 million people in the state of California. And I'm not saying that I'm the best person in the state to do it, because I'm sure there are plenty more qualified or just as qualified as me. I'm the only one doing it. I'm the only one stepping up to say I can do this, and we're going to make a difference. And so I don't think I'm any better or special than anyone else. I believe that in the time that we are in the place we are in California, I think everybody is aligning to vote for someone like me that they've never had the opportunity to vote for before. They've never, even in our political world, you look at polls that they do, and polling says that we don't trust our politicians. I mean, it was something like 13%. We have 13% trust in our politicians, and we expect our politicians to lie to us. And I believe that as a state, as a population, I believe we are starving for leaders, for leadership of people that actually care about us, and we can trust to be honest with us, we can trust to do the right thing for us. I think we're starving for that. And we've never had that opportunity to vote for someone like that. We've never cared about character. We've never cared about integrity. We've never cared about honesty. We've never cared about those qualities in our politicians. We did decades and decades. 100 years ago we did. 200 years ago we did. But recently it's more of, it's flashy. It's who's the richest, or who had the coolest job, or who dresses the nicest, or who's the prettiest. The substance, we're not voting in substance. And I think that's what we're starving for. And I think that people, the majority of people, probably in the high 90%, respect law enforcement. They know that we are doing everything we can. We're not perfect, but they know that law enforcement leaders are doing everything they can to be close to perfect, to provide that better service. And this will be the first time that that we have ever been able to elect a law enforcement leader, a public safety leader, someone that cares about other people more than themselves, into this high of an elected office. And I think it's going to be very appealing for a lot of people.
Okay. Thank you, Sheriff Bianco, and thank you for giving us the time and sharing all your views with us.
Thank you very much, and you're very welcome. I appreciate being here.
Thank you so much. That's the end of part 2 of our interview with Sheriff Chad Bianco. Sheriff Bianco has made it clear he believes California is at a turning point, and he's offering a very different kind of leadership. Whether you agree with his vision or not, these are conversations we must have openly, honestly, and with the people who want to lead. Our goal is to help you hear directly from the people who want to lead our state. Thank you for watching. We will be back with more interviews, more voices, and more stories that matter to you. Take care, and don't forget, your voice and your vote make a difference. Thank you. God bless you. برنامجكم مصدر ثقة.
Logos TV. أن نحضر كل إنسان كاملا في المسيح يسوع.
حروب وأخبار حروب. هذه العظمة عظمة شيطانية. أزمنة صعبة، الزلازل بتزيد، جوع، مجاعات، هيبقى ظاهرة عالمية حتى في أغنى المناطق.
في الأوقات التالية الأربعاء بتوقيت كاليفورنيا